Here we are, the final law, the one that doesn't look like a law at all.
Because it doesn't command, it doesn't control, it dissolves. Assume formlessness.
It sounds abstract, even poetic, but it might be the most important law of all because it's the only one about survival.
This law tells you, if you want to last, you can't stay fixed, not in your role, your ego, your structure, not even in your identity.
Everything changes. Markets shift. Power structures collapse. Technologies evolve. Enemies adapt. If you don't move with the current, you drown.
And yet, most people cling to titles, to routines, to old victories. They hold on to what worked until it stops working.
That's the trap. What gave you power yesterday can destroy you today if you refuse to let it go.
So Greene says, be formless, be like water, flow around obstacles, take new shapes, enter spaces silently, leave without trace.
It's a mindset, a way of existing in the world where you refuse to be pinned down.
But here's the twist. It's not about being passive, it's about being unpredictable. It's strategic invisibility.
And that terrifies people because most of us are trained to define ourselves. This is who I am. This is what I do.
But the moment you define yourself too tightly, you give others a target. A fixed shape is easier to strike and to break.
So formlessness is protection. It's mobility. It's the ability to escape patterns, especially your own.
Because your biggest threat isn't always your enemies. Sometimes it's your own consistency.
Think of nature. The tree that won't bend with the wind eventually snaps, but the grass that moves with the storm survives it.
This law teaches you to bend, not to submit, but to stay standing.
So whether you're leading a business, building a brand, or managing your own psychology, this law is about not becoming rigid.
Because form invites expectation, and expectation kills innovation.
Let's be clear. Formlessness isn't the absence of strength. It's the ability to shift your strength, to change the way it shows up.
That's power at its most evolved. You don't have to defend who you were last year, last week, or even yesterday.
Because clinging to old identities is what makes people predictable, and predictable people are easy to control, easy to trap.
When you're fluid, no one can box you in. You're not stuck being the leader, the expert, the visionary. You can change roles as needed and disappear if necessary.
And sometimes disappearing is the most powerful move of all.
Exactly, because it denies others the ability to pin you down. And when they can't pin you down, they can't plan against you.
That's what formlessness gives you. Freedom. Freedom from expectation. Freedom from assumption. Freedom from identity as limitation.
We often think identity is clarity, but it's also a cage. The moment you say, "This is who I am," you stop becoming anything else.
That's why some of the most dangerous figures in history, in a strategic sense, were the ones who couldn't be read. They moved across roles, across alliances, across ideologies.
Their strength wasn't just an action, it was an invisibility. You never knew what they wanted or when they would act or how.
And in that uncertainty, they had power because no one could predict their next move.
Look at Bruce Lee, famously said, "Be like water." That wasn't just about martial arts, it was about strategy. You don't meet force with force, you redirect it, you move through it.
And that's what leaders, creatives, and strategists need to understand. You can't dominate the future with the same form you used in the past.
The world shifts too fast, algorithms change, audiences evolve, markets collapse and reform. If you're too attached to your way, you vanish with it.
That's why formlessness is not weakness, it's high adaptation. It's staying relevant without clinging to relevance.
So ask yourself, what identity are you holding on to so tightly that it's limiting your next evolution?
And if you weren't so fixed in that role, what could you become? One of the biggest misconceptions in power is that consistency equals strength, but that's only true when the environment stays the same.
And it never does. The world is chaos in motion. The rules keep changing. If you don't change with them, your strength becomes a fossil.
That's the death of many empires. Not weakness, but rigidity. They couldn't evolve, so they were replaced by those who could.
We see it everywhere. In politics, the candidate who wins one election with fire and force loses the next because the people changed, but the candidate didn't.
In business, the startup that disrupted the system becomes the system, and then gets disrupted by someone newer, faster, looser.
And personally, it's just as real. If your identity is tied to a job, a platform, a skill, the moment that thing dies, you feel like you've died with it.
That's why Greene ends the book with this law. After all the strategies, the manipulation, the defense, this one strips it all away and says, adapt or disappear.
Because no matter how powerful you are, the moment you become easy to read, you become easy to replace.
And that's the dark side of legacy. If you build your influence around a fixed image, you either become a prisoner to it or watch it become irrelevant.
Which is why formlessness is freedom. It lets you evolve beyond your last version. It lets you outgrow yourself.
And the irony is, it's the invisible ones who last the longest, the ones who aren't obsessed with being seen, but with being able to move.
Power isn't just about holding a position. It's about knowing when to shift, when to vanish, when to reappear in a new form.
Think of it like this. A mountain can be climbed, studied, mapped, but a fog, a current, you can't hold it, you can't fight it, you can't predict it.
That's the kind of presence you want. Not solid and stuck, but fluid and untouchable.
So stop trying to be defined. Start becoming more, and let go of the idea that you owe the world a fixed version of yourself.
So let's talk application. How do you practice formlessness without losing direction? How do you stay fluid but not aimless?
It starts with separating purpose from identity. Your purpose can stay rooted, but the form it takes should be flexible.
For example, say your purpose is to empower people. That doesn't mean you're always a speaker or a writer or a CEO. Those are just forms.
Exactly. If the world shifts, if the platform fades, the company closes, the audience changes, your purpose stays intact. You just find a new form for it.
That's the core of formless power. It's not passive, it's responsive. You don't get attached to how your strength looks, only to what it does.
And that mindset gives you an incredible edge. While others are panicking to preserve outdated roles, you're already adapting to the next move.
It's the strategist who doesn't marry their plan, the artist who doesn't fall in love with one style, the entrepreneur who isn't loyal to one product.
Because once you're loyal to the form, you lose sight of the function. You forget the why behind the what.
And in today's world, this law is more essential than ever. The pace of change is exponential. Careers, platforms, tools, they evolve by the month.
So if you cling to one identity, you become obsolete fast. But if you train yourself to shift, evolve, pivot, you stay ahead even when the game changes.
That's why formlessness is not chaos. It's design. It's intentional movement. It's strategic invisibility with purpose beneath it.
So here's the question for anyone listening. What are you holding on to that no longer serves your evolution?
And what would happen if you released it, not out of fear, but out of strategy?
Let go of the need to look consistent. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the roles that earned you recognition in the past.
And instead, follow the movement, follow the shift. Let the world change and move with it, not against it.
If you look back at all the previous laws, most are about movement, advancing, defending, attacking, seducing, concealing.
But this final law, it's about unanchoring yourself, about stepping outside the system entirely. No fixed shape, no fixed method.
Because once you let go of form, you let go of vulnerability. People can't hit what they can't define.
And that's the highest level of power. Not being untouchable, but being ungraspable.
Because no matter how strong you are, strength fades. But if you can morph, shift, and stay undefined, you never become a fixed target.
This is why some of the most dangerous figures in history were those who seemed vague, hard to pin down. They never let their form become their prison.
And that's what power becomes in the end. Not presence, but possibility. The constant ability to become something else.
It's why great artists reinvent themselves, great leaders pivot, great thinkers contradict their past ideas. They're not betraying themselves, they're evolving.
And they're hard to fight, because the moment you think you understand them, they're already something new.
So if you want to last, if you want your influence to survive the shifts of time, you must let go of needing to be anything specific.
Not because you're confused, but because you're free.
And when you're free from form, you can create any form, on demand, with precision, as needed.
That's what mastery looks like. Not dominance over others, but mastery over your own structure.
You are the designer of your shape, not the prisoner of your past.
So many people try to build legacies by building monuments, fixed, solid, grand. But monuments crack, they get outdated, they fall.
But a current, a wave, a wind, that never ends. It shifts, moves, touches, disappears, returns.
That's what Law 48 gives you. Not just the final lesson, but the key to surviving all the others. So here we are, the final law, the end of the book, but more than that, the beginning of a new way of thinking.
Because formlessness isn't a tactic, it's a philosophy, a way to move through the world where nothing owns you, not your ego, not your habits, not even your success.
You learn all the strategies, all the laws, and then you let go of the structure, not to forget it, but to rise above it.
That's the paradox Greene leaves us with. True mastery doesn't mean you follow all the rules perfectly. It means you internalize them, then move beyond them.
You become shapeless, not as an escape, but as evolution, not as absence, but as potential.
So, for everyone listening who's followed this series, the question now is, what will you do with the power you've gathered?
Will you cling to it, use it to control, or let it shape you into something more adaptive, more fluid, more alive?
That's the deeper truth behind this law. Power that doesn't move dies, but power that transforms lasts.
And it's not about dominating others, it's about mastering the self, knowing when to shift, when to pause, when to disappear.
Because the most powerful presence is often the one you don't see coming.
So thank you for walking through all 48 laws with us, for questioning, reflecting, applying. This wasn't just a breakdown of power, it was a mirror.
And hopefully, now you're not just more strategic, but more self-aware.
If you want to revisit any of the previous episodes, they're here. Every law, every nuance, each one building toward this final point. You are not your form.
You're your adaptability, your awareness, your ability to evolve without losing your essence.
And that, maybe, is the real secret of power. Not to be known, but to be unknowable.
We don't know what comes next, and that's the point.
Stay fluid, stay dangerous, stay invisible when you need to, and when you do appear, let it be by design, not by accident.
This has been the 48 Laws of Power, reimagined, deconstructed, and lived.
We'll see you when you least expect it.
Exactly how it should be.